What's up, boys? Today we're going to be creating an insane number of turrets that throw poisonous knives all around them. We're looking for the synergy here, where electric turrets fire kunais around on deactivation. Then with the ghost, we can eventually turn the kunais into a poisonous chemical weapon that also double throws. We've got a little bit of extra synergy here with the shurikens dealing some additional electric damage, and we may as well take the medic as well with this combo to fire some extra shurikens on her explosive weapon and for some chemical based stuff and survivability. So let's start with the ghost for this. Go into endless, and then badges, we're getting the nice ability based stuff, a bunch of chemical based stuff, and some good survivability. So I'm going to try and pump the chemical tags up quite high here and see how they work, since our main weapon is going to do chemical damage. You get a bit of a slow on it, and also some damage over time. And then I think enemies explode and spread it to nearby enemies when they die with it active on them as well. We're going to be pumping the cooldown reduction on the engineer very high, and then we're going to be pumping the damage stats on the ghost, since all of the procs will be coming out of him. Let's grab this for some AoE damage. Let's get the run started a little bit, since it's a bit rough on the highest difficulty, it seems like. Here's the kunai. It also has the slashing tag by default, applying the bleeding effect for some percentage-based damage over time. So we should get some decent dot damage for the build as well. And then I guess with the Ghost and Engineer we'll get some decent electric as well, eventually. That'll do a little bit of damage and some stunning, I think, on just the non-boss enemies. Okay, here we go, Cyanide. The throwing them twice is just insane, and then you get chemical on top of that just seems so good. And we're already up to 8 of the chemical tags with the badge, and at 10 the death explosion will get larger. So next up for Ghost, let's see, probably get the Pulsar for some more AoE damage. Oh, the shurikens if we find that actually, since the medic will cast some of those for free once she gets her explosive thing going. So we're looking for a medic engineer. Oops, I did that again. I used to just always liberate and wait for them to appear, but you kind of run out of abilities to level now, it feels like, if you do that strategy, so that I could save some more of my meta progression for like items and stats and stuff. But it feels better to just re-roll into the characters you want for the run, I think, now. You also get a percentage XP boost for each one, so... Ability duration... The Hollow Decoy might work with that, I'm not sure. I guess we may as well. It will at least apply to some of the stuff that the other characters will have. But I don't think we really want to be stacking that unless it's the highest rarity like that. Let's see. Ability cooldown on Magnet, that's okay. That might be interesting actually. We should get a good amount of effects. 1, 2, 3, 4 at least. Yeah, let's take the big damage then. So last time I did a Ghost Caster focus build, I tried out the shurikens that chain between enemies up to like 15 times, and it seemed like that should have been good because the medic will proc them for free, so you can kind of get around the downside on them where it only fires one at a time. But the overall damage at the end of the run was just extremely low, so good time to try out the boomerang effect for the shurikens, I guess. Let's see. I kind of like the knockback effect on the other one, but with the gaslighter item, I think this is one of the only sources of burn we can get here. Engineer has some stuff, but I would be giving up a chemical-based attack, so I think I'll take this for the extra stack on that. Engineer. So that's one I tried, but the damage seemed extremely low, so we'll try out some boomerangs this time. We need to get the turrets to actually proc the knives. I'll grab energy shield first, I think, here. Ability cooldown, that's the main stat we want. So I want to banish stuff here. I should probably use them on the items first to help me find the banhammer item so that we can then get free banishes for everything. So we'll take that, put it on the engineer since we're using his turrets to proc the knives a lot. And then also he gets an evolution for the grenade that causes that to reduce a random cooldown whenever it explodes. So you've got a little bit of bonus cooldown scaling there as well. Let's see, ability area. It won't work on the main ghost abilities, I think. It might work on the shurikens. It'll work on the pulsar. I don't know if it works on that one though. It probably only works on weapons that actually have like an area stat, so I don't think it actually even does work on those. This gives some okay XP. You can take it early on and then drop it later. But this is pretty nice for the engineer stuff right now. More turrets so we can get that cooldown down. Down. I just don't like this one. It actually reduces the total area of them by 75% since that's applied to the radius. And the taunting effect also might be kind of cool with the Hollow Ghost. We can get a ton of taunts out at the same time. Here we go, taunt nearby enemies for 3 seconds after spawning. No downsides to this one. No massive penalty to the area of it. So EMP is pretty good. That's the one that has the cooldown reduction evolution. Very important for any caster-based build, I feel like. Big pickup range. That does work with the wrench to give us a lot of AoE. It's not the best stat, but oh well. It would be cool if the turrets would, like, release a set of the knives for every certain amount of their duration that passed, so you could actually cast a few more of those with some ability duration on them. More EMP. So yeah, I think we'll banish a bunch of stuff in here. It's decent, but it's kind of boring, and we definitely want all of the ability cooldown based stuff. So we're looking for a medic for the final spots. Going to go ahead and grab her experiment, since that will trigger the free shurikens sometimes for the ghost, and it gives a nice amount of crowd control with both chemical and freezing tags on it. We're eventually going to take the evolution to make it full chemical, just to fit the build with a ton of tags there. Here we go, support. When it explodes, reduces the cooldown of a random ability by 15%. Here we can grab some more experiment, I guess. Get the cooldown a little bit lower. XP? I normally ban that at some point, but a pretty early rare run, I guess we'll try it. Here, energy shield's pretty nice. I feel like the issue with XP is that the level up is pretty low value, and you need to at least gain more than one level from the XP for it to do anything. But the level ups are the infinite upgrades, which are tiny stats, and some of them for some reason have even lower scaling, like movement speed you'll get +2 on there, dodge you'll get like 1%, and then the cool stats like ability cooldown and crit chance and stuff that you apply to a specific survivor. When you get them for the military training, they also transfer 50% to the other survivors, but with the infinite versions, they don't do that. So the level ups just seem like extremely low value in this game from what I can tell anyways. Maybe there's something I'm missing, I don't know. Toxified. I actually wouldn't mind trying the other one that causes the explosion to have a larger radius. I don't know about that one. I kind of like the military training to get a lot higher stats. Let's finish that and probably take this to try and get some higher rarity ability cooldown, I think. That's the lockdown one, right? Yeah. They're both kind of cool. I'll take some electrocution here. So here we go, chemical only. Yup. I might grab some stim pack for some buffing. That's actually pretty close to the evolution. We can try and finish that off. See, the Hollow Ghost can either add freezing or I think more electrical. Probably just grab the freezing on that since I don't think we have a lot available for that. But we will have a bit of the tag from the experiment before it evolves. Yeah, I think the other one just shoots an electric laser between them, but that sounds more useful for buying me time and space to move around. Let's get some stim pack now. So I want to lock down something I would never take, which would be critical damage. Then ability crit chance. Yeah, we can grab some of that. Put it on the ghost since our other two survivors are both proccing abilities from him for free. Oh yeah, there's the freezing energy shield as well. There's a level for it, and that gets it ready for it too. Definitely banish that, and then probably reroll here. Let's see what else we got. Ooh, larger explosion. I do want to try that for the full chemical build. I don't know if it's good, but it sounds interesting. Here we go, Sub-Zero. Oh my god. Reducing the range, or actually the radius of it by 60%? That would make it so small. Reducing the radius by 60% would probably reduce the total area by like close to 90% or something. That's insane. More stim pack, that's getting pretty close. We can add 100 armor every time that's up, which is a pretty huge boost to survivability on an ability-based build where you can eventually get it to close to 100% uptime. Ability stats here. Probably just gonna save the banishes for the items we're trying to trim down to actually find the useful stuff there. There we go, 100 armor for its duration. It's actually kind of cool when you drag all of the boomerangs through a boss like that. Then next, we'll go ahead and grab a level on this in case I end up needing that. Then I guess we start on the weapon upgrades. We can get a lot of electric here. We can get a decent amount of chemical here. I like that for the build, actually. Both the tier 2 and tier 3 have chemical. That is okay. We've used most of them already. But it might help me find the banhammer so that we can actually trim down the pool a lot. Basically, what I want to do is ban almost all of the stats available on the military trainings so that we always have ability cooldown available. And then with the lockdown, we'll have a pretty good chance at getting high rarity stuff there. The other one has chemical, although that could have been used for the fire as well. What was the other one we got for that? The pulsar? That's fine. Let's go some medical drone here. Here you go, chemical for the electrocution. It also activates if you get hit in any way, or attacked, I guess. But that's not really going to come into play here too much. Big health. Yeah, we can try that. Ban fire. That's actually pretty good, but I don't know if I want it here. Bleed does up to 5 times the damage when you have 10 or more tags, and then ticking twice as fast on top of that is a lot of damage. I want to try full chemical. Screw it. Let's see, this might be my only form of the injured debuff later on. And that increases damage taken, and then it gives us an extra stack of that Gaslighter, I think, item. So I may actually want to end up going with the offensive drone so we can still apply that, even though the defensive drone is insanely strong. I think all of the ghost physical-based stuff is slashing. And then I don't think Engineer has any. I'll take another look as we get closer. Syringe gun, more chemical. I should probably evolve this first to make sure both of the tier 3s are both slashing, since one of them could be kinetic. I know the cuts is definitely slashing, so we'll do that before the medical drone, and then I guess I'll start working on that. They are most likely both slashing, but I just want to make sure. Weapon cooldown. That's okay on the medic and the ghost if you get the solar panel item. These aren't really amazing, they're okay. We can get some of that to reduce the cooldowns really low later on. And the ghost is good at hitting a lot of enemies every attack. Antidote flasks, even more chemical stacking. Let's banish that. Fire, ice, electric, and chemical. And we can get 4 of those. I think it's bad, but it's kind of tempting to try and see what chemical looks like with the absolute maximum number of tags. We may as well take it right now anyways. So it's at 37% chance, 37% slow, 96 damage every 1 second. Sounds extremely bad, but 320% bigger range with the Icon of Pestilence. And it does boost the percentage damage of all chemical weapons by a small amount. Dodge. Sure, nothing super important here. Banish that, and then we probably want the chocolate box, especially with that legendary health. Dual crits for every character. I guess probably replace the teddy bear or the wrench. So how's the chemical doing now? 30 tags, 40% with a 40% slow. You can see in the bottom left how much damage it's done, 2.2 million, which sounds pretty low for that many tags. Electrify is mainly just for the stun, and that's done over 4 times as much, and we're not even focusing it. Bleeding has also done about 4 times as much, and we're not going for that at all. Seems like a pretty tiny damage over time. Weapon damage, nope. Ability crit damage is fine. Wanna try and get that up to the evolution to see what damage type the Wind Cutter is. So I guess it's just a worse version of the freezing then. It's a much weaker slow since that's 35 at 10 tags versus 40 at 30. And then freeze has a chance to instant kill any enemy in the game, including bosses. This is just a tiny damage over time that can also spread with a pretty large explosion, I guess. So yeah, it is slashing, so may as well take the 1000 cuts then, since that's better at hitting a lot of enemies, I think. So the offensive drone, I think, will be the only form of the kinetic debuff for us. Let me see. Nothing there. I guess you could check the weapons as well. He'll have slashing and electric. So if I want to keep a large damage buff, I will have to go the offensive drone then. Solar panel for more turrets. We definitely want that. I really like the items. We probably have to replace this one then. The lasting twice as long doesn't do anything with how often we apply it, so it's literally just 4 tags for that. And I don't think that's a huge deal. 185% damage for all chemical weapons. How much does that go down? 177. Yeah, that's really not a big deal. Grab some medical drone next, I suppose, to get that evolution. Another rare dodge, may as well. Here we go, offense drone. Does lower the cooldown quite a bit, so it'll be a lot better at applying the debuff as well. Definitely a lot louder now. Do I need to try a full medical drone build with the SWAT for the ricochet effect on it? Actually, I wonder if you kept it as your only ability, since it has a cooldown of 0.15. What if you had that as like your only cooldown ability? And then you had this solar panel almost instantly resetting it every time? Every 0.2 seconds, I guess? It sounds funny. Probably terrible, though. Thousand cuts is great for hitting a lot of enemies at one time. Banish, burn. Do I want to reroll to look for the banhammer? I guess it would help us trim down the stats faster to try and get ability cooldown, so yeah, there we go. What can I replace with that though? Probably the wrench, since our main two like throwing skills don't scale with that, even though it is pretty nice. Either that or the magical hat, I suppose, or that. I guess we probably do need to do that just because scaling the tags up seems so weak. That one's not bad because it has crowd control, but that just doesn't really seem to do a whole lot. We've done 3.7 billion damage with that. That's so bad. The slow effect is pretty good. It's just a lot worse than freezing. So we can start trimming this down now. Crit chance, I don't mind getting a rare for that to trigger the solar panel a bit more. So probably Ghost, we've got some weapon upgrades for him. Taser, we can get the attack speed on that up to trigger the panel a bit more as well. The laser weapon at tier 3 basically just constantly fires once you get to that. And more electrical tags for chance of stun. Pretty good. I think we kind of like all of these now. I can eventually replace the banhammer, and I can think about replacing the wrench, but I think I'm going to keep them for now. Ability cooldown on the ghost? Sure. Not quite as good as on the engineer, I think, but he does still cast the abilities normally as well. cooldown, sure. And yeah, those infinite versions like that don't give the 50% bonus to the other ones, so that's why I don't really care for them. This gives us some crit as well. We should probably just banish that, so I can get down to 3 stats that I really want, including ability cooldown at some points. It's kind of nice on the engineer, but oh well. Wait. I almost accidentally skipped that. Can banish that, and then consider getting the mod chip to trigger the panel more often, mainly. Wrench. The engineer abilities are pretty useful though, and it's plus 60% total. Probably keep that, at least for now, I think. Cooldown on the medic. It's not terrible. It does trigger on her chemical explodey thing, which I just removed from there. But I think I'm gonna level the Tesla. Ability cooldown on engineer, we take those. Legendary ability damage. Guess we banish all the weapon stuff now, toss that onto the ghost. So the laser attacks constantly, good for proccing weapon effects. Good for triggering the electrify stun effect as well. More laser. Rare ability damage. Banish that, definitely. I think you can actually banish for free every reroll, so let's see what else there is. Ooh, perfect. Do I want to ban armor? Yes. Toss that on the engineer. Ability on the engineer. Man, the flashy lights are just insane late game. Damage numbers off will help a bit. I don't think there's anything else to help with that. I could lower the quality a bit, maybe? Probably not gonna mess with that right now. I don't think you can really do anything else to help with the shininess of the graphics. Health is not bad, that'll give crit to everyone. We probably will need that soon, but I'm gonna take the decently useful stats whenever we see them in here, I think. Duration, I don't think that even does anything on him. None of these even have a duration. It would be cool if it could make the shuriken stay out longer and just fly around hitting stuff. banish that ability area. I think we can do better, or banish some junk anyways. Movement speed, probably not. Take some crit for everyone. Ability on engineer, yup. Cooldown on medic or damage on ghost. Probably here. Engineer. How's he doing on there now? So 85 raw, which gives 55% total after the diminishing returns. Rare ability cooldown, yup, get rid of that. Onto the Ingi again. There's so much stuff, my god. I think we're still getting pretty good value out of the banhammer, although we don't need it too much longer. And this is pretty good on the engineer. Medic cooldown. Probably try and finish this off now. Reducing your HP by 50% is just such a massive downside. 50% damage is decent, but this is just good with no downside. Ability air, that doesn't even do anything. He doesn't. Oh, pulsar actually. It does work on that. Let's get the engineer attack speed, I think, for more solar panel triggers. Duration. Spanish dodge chance. Turrets. I think the energy shield's already fully up. I don't think it's amazing, but we will still take that and put it on Engie. Area and duration, those are not that great for us. Cooldown on the ghost is pretty good. Oops. Getting pretty hard to see everything now. I guess probably health. Boost everyone up a little bit and make the solar panel a bit more consistent with the health and crit stuff. Crit chance for solar panels, decent here. Oh, we actually should look to replace the banhammer now, since we're pretty close to dying now. so mod chip would be good. The double bleeding speed might actually be pretty good for killing the bosses here. And I guess the armor and attack speed thing would be okay. I guess area here? Ability crits for the ghost, sure. How's our chemical effect doing? 14 million damage versus 73 on a stun effect with a tiny chance to deal damage versus 169 million. It's over 10 times as much on just a random effect we're not even focusing. Feels like chemical could be a bit higher damage-wise if you invest that much into it. There's the revive, we pull everything in, ghost cooldown or some health. More cooldown. There's just nowhere to move anymore. That might have been good if we had 10 tags for that. So I guess we may as well take this on the banhammer since I'm about to die. Not amazing, but better than nothing. Ability cooldown, yup. Bit of health or ability damage. Ability damage. bleeding lasts twice as long? That would probably be my biggest damage buff against bosses. 226 million on that effect. Next closest is the stunning effect at 88. So it's somehow my best damage effect. We could replace either that or that, I suppose. I mean, it is supposed to be a full chemical build, so I'm gonna go down with the Icon of Pestilence. And I guess we'll drop the bells and whistles since we're getting pretty close to the end anyways. So we can get rid of that now. Grab some damage. Actually, the kunais are slashing as well, so the percentage damage increase on that should affect them as well, I think. Yeah, the bleeding thing is probably pretty solid then. Armor? Health or medic stats. Attack speed for more slashes or armor. I didn't even see what killed me there. The screen is just so bright and flashy. I could take that. I don't know that it really helps me that much. 14% area, 21% duration. The extra stun triggers on that from the electric turrets and 42 tags there is probably gonna buy me more survivability. Cooldown, yup. So we got up to... Please! Where's the freaking engineer? 66.9% total. So 2/3 of the cooldown removed. Plus a little bit extra whenever he throws the grenade that reduces cooldowns on top of that. Bit more health. Plus the solar panel and the bolts items reducing cooldowns a bit on top of that. So we probably got the cooldowns down to about a 75% reduction overall once you include the bit of extra from that stuff as well. What is my laser doing there? I'm still moving! I'm alive! So, ghosts, 188 million on the kunai dance, 91 on the 1,000 cuts, huh? Shuriken is still awful even with the boomerang. And that's with the engineer synergy to add electric damage to it as well. Shuriken is just really bad right now, it seems like. Engineer, 13.9 on the energy shield, 35 on the turrets, 31 on electrocution. Medic 66 on experiment is not bad. That triggered some free shurikens as well. We had 336 million on the slashing effect. That was kind of just an afterthought. 3.5 on the kinetic. Maybe the defensive drone was better then, but it was also buffing the gaslighter a bit. 108 million on the electric with a 52% chance to stun. Wow. That's kind of crazy. And then chemical, we got up to like 30 tags at some point, which was a 40% chance with a 40% slow, and I think around 100 damage, but it just wasn't worth it. So we had to drop down to 22 tags for 32% chance and 81 damage per 1 second. Definitely needs a bit of a damage buff on that because right now it's just a weaker slow and weaker damage than freeze because the instant kill effect on freeze is so strong. The damage should at least be relevant if you're stacking that many tags on it, I feel like. That just for some extra gaslighter tags. Like, that has 1 tag and it's 29 million! That's insane! It's 50% better than the thing that had 30 tags for a while. That's crazy. With 1 ability triggering that. And like 50 triggering that. That's insane. We had a bit of AoE for that. I don't know if we needed it, but it was helpful for the engineer's crowd control abilities at least. Electric and frost, electric cooldown reduction, and even more electric stuff, bit of chemical there. So it did help quite a bit with that. Grab that right at the end for some extra slashing damage. Ability cooldown reduction. That to fit the build, although it didn't seem very good. Some nice crit around the team as we scale up survivability at the same time. Bit of area that's probably not necessary either. Solar panel is pretty cool though, reducing cooldowns by a flat amount. That goes pretty nicely with a big percentage reduction. He's up to 67% there. 3.31, 13.24, 4.3, and 5.3 for those cooldowns. How does it go? So we got some decent cooldown on him as well. 1.6 on the kunai, 1.2 on the pulsar, 3.2 on the shuriken. That cooldown should be a lot lower as well, probably. But it just seems to need buffs all around, it feels like. 10.2 on the Hollow Ghost. Few more levels on them, but we are actually mostly done with the survivor trees at around 100, it looks like. You can get most of the relevant abilities for the run. But that's going to be it for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.